base. There we are. We're just like that, guys. We're live once again today. The second show today, guys. This is the first time using this mic and this headset, so I forgive me if it doesn't sound good. I think it's working. Joy, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? Your mic and your headset sound great, by the way.
Thank you very much. You know what? This podcast, I'm still new at this, and I enjoy doing it though. It's been a while since I've had guests on though, because I've got things going on in my own life. Sometimes you got to take care of things in your own life. But man, it helps talking to people, and I'm I'm not even fighting this weekend, and I got friends like you that are stepping into the MMA cage and going into battle this Saturday, right? November 18th, and Uriah Faber's combat show. Is that what it's called, Joy?
A1 Combat. Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. Yes.
Okay, Uriah Faber's A1 combat. I haven't been to one of these yet. I'm just seeing them. Is this your first time fighting in this show?
It's my first time fighting in the show. This is my pro debut. But I attended an A1 Combat show, I think in July, and it was really good. Uriah does a great job throwing that show, so I'm really excited to be part of it this time.
Yeah, I'm excited for you too. Now, your opponent, do you know anything about the opponent? Have you seen her fight before?
Yeah, so we actually fought as amateurs back in 2020.
Okay.
Um, we fought February 22nd of year 2020. So we all know what happened right after that. So it's a good thing we got that last fight in. But yeah, the fight went well for me. I took her down in the second round and TKO'd her. Um, but it has been 4 years, and we're both very different fighters than who we were 4 years ago. So I don't take anything about her lightly. And also, she wants this rematch, and she's been watching my film and seen me fight since then. So she knows what I've got going on, and she still wants a piece of it. So
Yeah.
I'm sure she's training hard. I'm sure she's well prepared. I have to be ready everywhere. And just because I beat her once before does not mean that I think it's going to be an easy fight or an easy win. I expect it to be gritty and tough, but I also expect that I'm better than her in each and every area, and I expect to win.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, I've been in that same situation where you fight somebody that you beat before, and then you're going to be fighting them again. Trippy feeling. So you know you have to be prepared because you know that they want to get that revenge, and she wants to turn that record around. So since you guys fought back then, how many fights? What is your record now?
So as an amateur, I'm now 5-2, which is great because my first two fights were losses. They were both decision losses. Um, the first one, I lost fair and square. It was a good fight, but I mean, I lost. And then the second fight, I really didn't feel like I lost. I really felt like I won that fight, but I did not get the decision. And so that was a heck of a way to start my MMA career. But that's the thing about martial arts is you just have to pick yourself up and just keep going if you want to do it. And I really, really wanted to do it. And I think those two losses they made me, really reconsider my reasons for fighting. I realized at that point it definitely is not about anybody else. It's not about impressing anybody. It's not about um, trying to I don't know, have like an image or anything. It's just I like to fight. I like the challenge. I want to test myself, and I want to be better, And so going into my third fight, I had a different mentality. It was just I'm not here for anybody else. I'm here for myself. And I'm gonna get it to the ground at all costs. That was the other mistake that I made in my first two fights. Is I was a little too lackadaisical about allowing it to stay on the feet and not get things under control under my terms. And I have not made that mistake since. So yeah, my last five fights have all been wins, four of which have been TKO finishes. And yeah, and now it's time for that pro debut. So it's really cool. It's this is my dream come true.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're living your dream. That's awesome. And very few people get to do it in this world to, you know what I mean, to put your mindset on something like this, especially MMA fighting. Just with the last kid that I was talking to, I had an interview before you with Blake DeCourcy. And man, I have so much respect for MMA fight for any fighter, any competitor actually, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, boxing, karate, kickboxing, whatever it is. When you're stepping on the mat in front of all these people, in front of your friends and your family, and you're going into war against another person. But MMA, I mean, to me, is really one of my favorite things, and I have so much respect for you guys, all of you fighters that are stepping in there. Now you're fighting for the featherweight title. What weight is that?
Correct. So it's for the first women's featherweight title that A1 Combat has ever put on the line. It's at 145 pounds, and I have to actually make the 145. It's not, we don't get the 1 pound allowance for the championship fight. Which when you're going that low, that 1 pound does make a difference. But I'm not worried
Yeah.
about it. I always make weight easy. But yeah, I'm super excited to be given the opportunity to be the first women's featherweight champ for A1 Combat. That's really special to me. And when I originally spoke with the promoter, not Uriah, but the guy who runs the show, when I originally spoke with him, he wasn't so keen on giving a debuter a title shot. But as I explained to him, I have two Camo State titles in amateur MMA at lightweight, 155, and at welterweight, 170. I won both those titles within the past year, and until I vacated, as the current title holder, two different weight classes. And I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm a world champion in jiu-jitsu. I deserve an immediate title shot, is my point. I deserve it. And there's not a lot of women featherweights out there. Let's be honest about that. This division is growing. So somebody has to step up and be the champion and take that spot. And why not me?
Yes, why not you? Heck yeah, why not you? Is this your first time fighting for like a title or something like that?
For a professional title, because this is my pro debut. So this will
Dang,
be
pro debut and a title fight. So,
exactly for the first women's featherweight title, yeah, that A1's ever had. So it's a lot of firsts that night.
that's badass, dude. That's awesome, man. What does your family think about all this?
Amazingly, my parents have kind of come around. They still don't like it.
Uh
They're gonna
huh.
be super thrilled the day I tell them I'm not fighting anymore. But they do understand that this is a passion for me, and it's so much more than just the fight. It's the whole lifestyle that goes into it. It's the training and the preparation, and I mean, gosh, I could go on and on about that. I mean, if you're gonna fight, it has to be your whole life if you want to be successful. So yeah, I love it. It's what I'm called to do. It's what I feel in my heart that I want to do. And so my parents, they finally have accepted it, and they encourage me, just train hard, do my best, stay safe. But of course, like, I'm their baby girl. They don't want to see me get punched. So that part's tough for them.
I'll bet. And are they there? Are they right there cage side when you're fighting?
No, I tell them not to come to my fights because I know they're not going to
Oh,
like
really?
it. And I know it's going to stress them out, and it's going to stress me out knowing they're stressed out. And no, it's just better if they don't come. So I've actually told them they're not allowed to come to any of my fights because, of course, they're going to want to be supportive and they're going to want to be there, but they don't want to be there. They think they want to be there. They don't want to be there. Win or lose, they don't want to be there.
Oh, wow. That's
So
crazy.
they support me from afar. And then after the fight, we can watch my video, but you
Yeah.
know, and they come to all my jiu-jitsu matches too. They all my fight to win matches and all my tournaments. They're very supportive of the jiu-jitsu part. They just not so much into the face punchy part.
Yeah, they're cool with the jujitsu part. Fight to win. Are they still doing their thing or what?
Oh yeah, yeah. Fight to Win is still up and running, and I would love to do another Fight to Win show. It's been about a year and a half since I did one of their shows, but right now I'm focused on MMA. So as soon as I get done with this fight, then it's on to the next opportunity. And if Fight to Win lines up with my schedule, I'm absolutely down to do that again. I still want to compete in grappling. It's been a little while, but I'm obviously jiu-jitsu is my first love, so I do want to get back into that.
And Uriah Faber show, the A1 Combat, is that linked up with UFC Fight Pass?
Yes, which was another reason I wanted to fight for A1 Combat because I had a different opportunity, um, a similar time frame, but I decided to go with A1 because that's a big stage to be on UFC Fight Pass and have that kind of exposure. So I'm really excited to go out there and show what I have, not just my jiu-jitsu. I have a lot of tools in my toolbox, so I'm really excited to show the world what I have.
Yeah. Who's your camp that you're training with right now?
Brito MMA is my team, my camp. Daniel Brito is my coach. Um, the gym name is 1,000 Year Warriors. So anytime you hear 1,000 Year Warriors, Brito MMA, it's the same thing. But yeah, my team's awesome, very supportive, great training partners, and my coach. I just can't say enough about my coach. I came to him as a 0-2 amateur. Like I just started my career and was not doing well. And he just started everything with me from the ground up. First, it was okay. Let's see how you jump rope. And I mean, I couldn't jump rope to save my life. And he's like, okay, well, first you got to learn how to jump rope. Next, just how to throw a jab. And I'll never forget. I mean, he would have me hold my hands up like this, and he would duct tape duct tape my arms and be like, all right, shadow box here, just shadow box and just move. But like those hands don't leave your face. And I'll never forget him getting out that roll of duct tape. Every time my hands dropped, he's like, all right, where's the duct tape? So old school. Like he's an old school trainer, and I love that. That's exactly what I needed. And in the last 4 years, we're undefeated together. I've had a bunch of Muay Thai smokers. So between my smokers and my MMA fights, we're something like 13-0 together, something like that. But I mean, I never, I just, I don't know what I would have done if I hadn't found him. I mean, I knew back then, I knew I had all these skills. I knew I had all this potential and all these abilities, but I just didn't know how to put it together. I didn't know how to actually be successful in the cage and make things work for me. And what's funny is my first fight with Carlene, it was actually like 6 months after I started training with Brito, or maybe 5 months. I mean, I was new. I was really new at Brito's. And the only thing he told me for that fight is he's like, just hands up and just have a good jab. Just establish your jab and just jab, hands up. That's it. The fight's gonna find its way to the ground, like it always does. Like I'm a jiu-jitsu girl. My instinct is to grab. So we knew the fight would end up on the canvas, like somehow or another. But yeah, the only thing we worked was keeping my hands up and throwing my jab. And it was enough. My jab connected. I was safe. I didn't eat any big shots. And then yeah, I took her down and used my jiu-jitsu. But gosh, the last 4 years, the growth between that fight and this fight, like I said, I just can't wait to show it off. And yeah, my coach is the best, and I'm just looking forward to making him proud in there.
That's awesome. I'm sure he's going to be proud for sure. Now, it takes a lot. It says a lot about you that you were defeated on your first two fights, but you still now a lot of people after they if they had done their first two MMA fights and lost the first two, they probably wouldn't have continued to keep trying to get a win and going back in there and trying it again. But something made you go back in there. What did you change? Did you leave that camp? What changed about you in that third fight when you came back and got the victory? What do you think it was you changed that helped you?
Finding Brito, like that was the number one thing. Finding Brito, finding my MMA coach. So let me be really careful how I say this, because I just want to be really clear what I mean by this. So I started out at Team Alpha Male with just in the jiu-jitsu program. I just did public classes and just the evening, normal jiu-jitsu classes, and I did that for years. And then I kind of got into the striking a little bit at Team Alpha Male, but the problem is like they're good classes, they're pro classes, all the classes the serious fighters would go to, they were in the morning, and I couldn't do that with my work schedule at the time. And so I did as much as I could at Team Alpha Male in the evening. But the fact is, and it's not that Team Alpha Male doesn't have good training. Okay, Team Alpha Male is a great MMA school, a great team. Like I don't need to say that, everybody knows. So I just want to be really clear. It's not that, it's just the time frame and the schedule just did not work for me to get the training that I needed at Team Alpha Male. And then when COVID happened, that's when I like Team Alpha Male shut down for a little bit during COVID. Like everyone shut down for a little bit during COVID.
Hmm.
And then but of course Burritos was still going because it's just a private club. And so it's just very few of us, and we were just doing our own thing there. but yeah, I quit going to Team Alpha Male just because the gym was shut down and I couldn't go. And then I just kind of got into a new routine, just kind of fell into new habits, and then I just didn't go back. So it's not that I quit, and it's not that I have any, obviously like Team Alpha Male, like that was my original home, and Uriah is great, and everything, everything there is awesome. It just wasn't quite it just wasn't the fit that I needed at the time. And anyway, so I found Burrito, long story short, and that has been the perfect fit. That's been everything I need. The schedule works out for me, and just the one-on-one attention too. That's the other thing about training at any team where there's a lot of people is, the coaches, they have to spread their time between all these different athletes. At Burritos, he sees how hard I work and how serious I am about this. And as the years have gone by and our coach student relationship has grown, and he's seen me be successful, and he's seen me, follow his instructions, follow the game plan, do everything we planned on, and everything he asks of me as far as training and all that. He sees I'm serious. And so he puts more and more time and effort into me. And at this point now, he's like, okay, we're pro now, and all the attention is on me. So it's what I need. It's the environment I need, and it's all that one-on-one coaching that I really needed. Because, like, I'm not like a tough girl. How do I say this? Like, I've never been the type to like try to get into a fight, try to like posture on anybody. Like, that's not my thing. I'm not like thuggish at all. I'm pretty normal, I'm from the country, so I'm tough and gritty in that way. Like, I'm not afraid to get dirty, Um, and I can push through things mentally and physically. But yeah, I never like I'm not the street fighter type. So I just didn't know like anything about fighting. I didn't know anything about the mentality it takes, the kind of training I needed to be doing, the things I needed to be focusing on, just the little like jump rope, just the little stuff. I had no idea before I met Brito how important jump roping was. I had no clue. And look, I'll never forget this. In my first fight with Carlene, as we're standing there, across from each other in the cage, she's just like bouncing. She's just like bounce, 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 bounce. And I was just standing there looking at her, you know. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and then in the video later, I see the difference in our striking. I see where she's like moving, bouncing, and I'm just like hands up, chin down, throwing my jab, which was the right thing to do. But I did not have the movement back then. I just did not have that lightness. And I can see why now. Like, I can see why jump rope is so important, because I do have that lightness now. I do have that movement. I have the ability to explode and be fast when I need to be. And then, yeah, just the ability to change pace and change gears and all that stuff. So anyway, so it's just the little stuff like the jump roping. That's the stuff that Brito really has like imprinted into my mind. It's you can't cut corners. No one wants to sit there and jump rope for hundreds of hours, okay? But if you're going to be a serious fighter, that's exactly what you have to do. Your feet have to be strong, your calves have to be strong, your legs have to be conditioned. You have to train those little fast twitch muscles to go bounce, 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 and learn how to do double unders and do tricks. I mean, you just have to do that to develop yourself, to be able to do some of these techniques and be able to just maintain the correct kind of movement throughout a fight. So anyway, so Brito's just like, he's really opened my eyes to so much about fighting that I just had no idea about before.
And man, so how do you Brito? How do you pronounce it? Is that, am I saying it right?
Oh,
Brito?
yeah, Brito, Brito.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
if you
Awesome.
or if you're joking with him, you can call him burrito.
Oh no, I won't do that. I won't do that. I'm sure he's probably got that enough in his life. Hey, but and jujitsu is like one of my favorite things. I'm a mixed martial artist, but jujitsu is probably, if I had to pick one of the, the favorite one out of all the styles, jujitsu is probably my go-to. Who's your first jujitsu coach, and who's your jujitsu coach now?
Yeah, so my original jujitsu coach is Dustin Akbari. He's still at Team Alpha Male. He I mean, I don't know if you know anything about Dustin or you
He's
followed his.
legit.
He's super legit. Like
Yeah, he's
one of
legit.
one of the best nogi grapplers around, and yeah, super super proud to have gone from white to black under Dustin, and you know
Oh,
it's
you went from white to black from him?
under Dustin. Yep, every single belt was under Dustin, and
Wow.
it was really important to me that I earned my black belt under Dustin. So when COVID happened, I was still brown belt, and I started training at Precision Jiu Jitsu Academy for my jiu jitsu. So that's Chad Bingham and Sarah McMahon's gym, and I love their jiu jitsu, Chad's jiu jitsu, their program. But yeah, I told Chad when I first got there, you know, that it is really important to me that I was still under Dustin as far as like my ranking, and of course, like Chad's super cool and he was fine with that. Um, but yeah, like when it was time for me to get my black belt, you know, I made a plan with Dustin. I mean, you know, Dustin pretty much hit me up and was like, "Hey, you need to get promoted," and I'm like, "No," and he's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "No." One more competition, please. Don't make me be a black belt yet. But so anyway, I did one more fight to win, and then the next day I went into Team Alpha Male, visited, and he went ahead and promoted me there to my black belt. So it was really cool. And Dustin and I are still friends to this day. Still hang out. He's come up to my school, Willow's Jiu Jitsu, and guest instructed for me. And yeah,
Oh
it's
man, he's keeping an eye on you for sure. He's probably hella proud of you. That's great.
oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. So this weekend, man, coming up, you have a. Are there other people from your guys' gym that are also fighting and competing?
No, not from my gym, but some of my or one of my well, like, two of my old teammates from Team Alpha Male, they actually have title fights that same night. Dwight Joseph and Cody Vogels. They're both my old teammates, and Dwight and I are still friends today. And so yeah, it's gonna be really cool to see those guys get their straps also.
And now the 559 fights. It's also on that same night. How is
Oh, I didn't even
how's
realize.
Yeah, it seems like it is. They're both on that same night. It seems like they're working. I feel like they're working together in some way or another. It seemed like they were linked up together. I might be wrong about that, so I won't say much
Yeah,
about
I'm
that.
not sure. I don't know
Yeah,
about that.
that's awesome though, man. In Sacramento, are there just a ton of places to train or what?
Yeah, gosh, especially the jiu-jitsu scene, it's really blown up in Sacramento. So that's really cool to see. It's neat that there's so much interest in jiu-jitsu and that there's enough yeah, like there's enough students to go around. No one's actually competing with each other. I feel like there's more students in Sacramento than there are jiu-jitsu gyms to accommodate them. So so yeah, it's awesome. And obviously the jiu-jitsu community is small and close, and so I know a lot of people, and I'm welcome at all sorts of different gyms, and I've trained at all sorts of different gyms, you know, dropped in and visited. So yeah, there's always options for great training around Sacramento.
Yeah, there's no better time in the world than now to do jiu-jitsu, especially Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It seems like, especially right here in the Central Valley too, we have more jiu-jitsu schools, and man, there's just so many options, and you can check out the different people, and you know, you might not fit in at this gym, like you said, and maybe the schedule's not right. It could be many different reasons, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and you'll end up as a fighter, you'll end up in the right spot where you need to be. You know what I mean? If things work out the way that they're supposed to be or they're meant to be. Perhaps we never know how this life really goes behind the scenes, but man, it's all a trip to me. Uh, like I said, you know, I'm nervous. I'm not even fighting this weekend, and I'm nervous for you fighters, and I'm proud of you guys. I'm proud to know you. I'm glad that me and Archie we were able to meet you kind of in the beginning of your career. It seems like how long ago was it? That couple years that I
Oh,
met you in the beginning.
I feel like we met long ago. I mean, I'm not sure exactly when, but it definitely been over a few years. I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
it's been
it's
a
been a
while.
minute. It's been a
Yeah.
minute, and your experience has grown, and it's so cool to see. You know, I'm proud of you. I'm proud to know you to see that you're what you're doing this week, and I think it's so cool. If I was
Thank
living over, yeah, man, if I was living over there, I would definitely be right there at that show, checking it out. Are they going to have it? Is it going to be available to see online by chance?
Yeah, so you'll have to get a subscription to UFC Fight Pass, but then you can stream it live on Fight Pass. And yeah, it's really neat. You know, being a martial artist, this whole journey is about improving ourselves. our skill sets, but also just like who we are as people. And like like we already kind of talked about before, going through those losses and all the pain and all the heartache that comes along with losing. But it's necessary, to grow. And all that hard training, all those hours in the gym, all that time spent jump roping, all that stuff, it's necessary for growth. And I'm proud of myself, not just for not just for the titles that I've won, and not just for that. I mean, I am, but just the development that I've made as an athlete. I just see it in my body. I see it just my mindset, my personality. I've grown so much through this sport, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for everything. And even I mean, I say this all the time, but even if something awful happened, like I got in a car accident and it was just like all over one day, I wouldn't regret 1 minute of anything. I mean, this has been such a journey. But yeah, knock on wood, like everything's gonna be great. But I'm just saying, like
Knock
every
on wood,
bit,
you said?
yeah, about the car accident part, but but
No, you're not going to get in no car accident. I have a vision of you going all the way to the big show, man. I can see you either fighting in UFC soon, it seems like, or that real big show over there in Japan. One of these big shows you're going to make it to. Uriah Faber show, man. I mean, Uriah Faber's no joke. That dude's big. I got a feeling that his show is going to become huge.
I
That
think
show's going to.
so.
It is going to be. It's going to be for sure. There's no doubt in my mind, man. Uriah Faber, people. I love that guy. He's, you know what I mean. He's another real martial artist that did great things, man. And it's so cool to see when I see a fighter when they leave their sport and he started something like he's doing. You know what I mean? He's got his own. That's his own company, and it's going to be big too. People know and respect Uriah, so I got a feeling that show it's gonna be great, man. I'm wishing you all the best. Now, do you have people reaching out? Do you have sponsors that you would like to throw a little shout out to, perhaps?
I would love to do a sponsor shout out. Actually, I should have thought of this earlier, but let me just grab my fight t-shirts because I
Yeah,
have all my
yeah, heck
sponsor
yeah,
logos
dude.
on my fight t-shirts. But
Yes.
but yeah, of course, my Godiva is
Uh
the
huh.
one of my big sponsors. And what I love about Godiva is a women owned jiu-jitsu clothing line for women, owned by a woman, and it's all women's jiu-jitsu apparel. And they're just so supportive of me, and as an amateur, and then now as I make my pro debut. And I just yeah, really really grateful for their support. So let's see, turn my
That's
camera here.
a beautiful house. Is that your house right there?
Yeah, this is my home. This is where I live.
It's
So
pretty. It's beautiful.
thank you. So Godiva, High Desert Pythons, which is Antoine's company. Antoine's one of the 559 promoters, so I really appreciate him sponsoring me for this. Really cool
Yes.
of him.
Shout out to
My
him.
gym, of course, had put myself on there, Willow's Jiu Jitsu in MMA. And then Rev Gear has been a long time sponsor of mine before all the MMA stuff. They've been a long time Jiu Jitsu sponsor of mine, send me all sorts of things. This is the 1,000 Year Warrior and the Burrito MMA logo. So this is one gym, but Burrito MMA 1,000 Year Warriors, this is where I train. KBE Entertainment. This is actually my boyfriend's company, and they do everything for like private parties, weddings, quinceañeras, anything that you need, lights, entertainment, sound, all that stuff. That's their company. Sierra Tire and Wheel Repair. They're sponsoring me for this one. Really appreciate them. Max Agent Financial. They're sponsoring me. Really appreciate them as well. The owners of these companies are friends of some of the guys at the gym, and so got hooked up with them. And then Body Advantage. This is owned by a friend of mine, and she does all sorts of body work on me and massages and stuff, and keeping me nice and healthy and recovered and ready to fight all the time. So, and I've posted about her on Instagram. So if you're ever in Sacramento and you need some sports therapy, you need some work on you, Julie's your lady. But yeah, those are my
That's all,
sponsors,
dude,
and I
man. That sounds awesome, man. You're doing great. That's hey, having sponsors like that. Hey, shout out to all those people right there that she just gave a props out to. Everybody that helps out a fighter, man, with a sponsorship. Man, we got a lot of love for you guys. We really got a lot of love for you. Hey,
thanks.
walk around your house a little bit and let me see if this Wi-Fi clears up a little bit, please?
Oh yeah, yeah. Is it a little glitchy?
It's a
Is,
little bit, but it's probably mine though, because my Wi-Fi sucks bad right here.
yeah.
One day that will change, and this
More or less kind of by the
studio
router,
too,
so
guys. Yeah, one day
that's all right.
this podcast is. I love doing the podcast. I love. It's all good.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
one thing I want to say about my
there you go.
sponsors is just that fighter pay, especially in the beginning, is not good at all. and like with all the help that I've gotten from my sponsors, I'm actually ending up making just about as much money in sponsorships as I am on the actual fight. So I really, really appreciate the sponsors helping me
That's
out.
great. That's
As,
awesome, man.
yeah,
Yeah, fighter.
us new fighters at the beginning of our career, like it's hard to get started in a sport and we need that extra support. So I really appreciate all the companies that are helping me out.
Heck yeah, I appreciate everybody out there too. Enjoy my Wi. It's my Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, my connection right here because of the weather and the sky. What's going on? My connection's a little messed up. Anyhow, I wanted to keep the interview short today with you, anyways, because you're fighting Saturday. I want to thank you so much, and I want to thank everybody else out there. And man, anybody that can share this video for us, give us a like and share this video, and you can support our locals that are stepping into the cage and doing battle. Uriah Faber, good job with your show. Jeremy Luchow, good job with you and everything. I wish everybody the best this weekend. And I just want to thank anybody that tunes in to this show and gives us support. But Joy, hey, I'll talk to you after your fight, man. I wish you the best of the next few days, and I know everything's going to go good for you. I also wish your opponent the best. I hope you guys can go in there and do battle, and regardless of the results, I know afterwards you guys will shake hands and you guys will probably get to know each other even better. Have you ever done that after a fight, after one of your fights, gotten to know the opponent?
Not really. I mean, I always shake hands and say thank you, win or lose. Like it's really important. Not particularly though. I have reached out to a couple of my old opponents and said, let's get together and train, and they've said like, yeah, yeah, let's do it. And it just doesn't happen because of
Yeah,
schedules and different cities and all that kind of stuff. So I'm friendly with some of my old opponents. Not like super tight or anything, but yeah, it's like you share a special experience together when you get in there and fight each
right.
other. It sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Like
Yep.
it's just a very unique thing to do, and
Yeah.
an experience to share with somebody. And yeah, I mean, we need each other in this sport to be able to do this. So always respect and appreciation for my
Yep.
opponent, no matter what.
Heck yeah, it's a special respect, man, that you don't get very many things in life. So yeah, it's great, man. The martial artist, the humbleness that you get, after all this training and these fights, it definitely changes the way you are, your humbleness through life and everything. So, Joy, thank you again. I'm gonna close it up, and I'm gonna talk to you after your fight. You do your thing for the rest of your week, man. I hope everything goes great, and everybody else out there, much love and respect, and we will talk again soon. Thank you
Sounds
so much,
great.
Joy.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Tom. Take care.
You're welcome.